Okay, folks. Hi. Not technically an episode of Tower of Ivory. Technically. Uh,
Woo, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. I wooed preemptively there.
this is going to be something of
I
a
would
behind
post
the
emptively.
yeah. This is something of a behind the scenes thing. We're just as a way to keep the thought of the game alive and letting y'all know that it's not dead. We're working on we are working on stuff right now. I've been sort of trying to finagle something that I want to actually do stuff with. We're basically going to be workshopping some ideas. I want to start this off with the idea that I threw at the group the other day. I think it was like Monday. It might have been. It's either Monday or Sunday.
It was one of those days. Time has no meaning.
This is true. Basically, Nick sort of mentioned. I've been sort of lamenting the one major issue I've had running as a game master over basically my entire career is I'm not good at role-playing the villains. I can do certain types of villains okay, but like actual true villains, not my thing. I just don't enjoy it, and I'm bad at it. And amongst other things, and I'm just like a little tired of villainy. And the number of villains in this game is kind of through the fucking roof.
Just slightly.
Just a bit.
I didn't realize how much of a problem this game when I came up with the concept. But I sort of hit a brick wall and going, why the hell did oh, that's the brick wall. It's very tall.
That explains everything.
It's a brick wall called jerks.
Well, no.
It's very tall also.
I like the idea. It's like, well, okay, making this campaign with a bunch of monstrous races and a bunch of evil lords and stuff. And why are there so many? Oh, wait, that's why there's so many villains in here. Shit.
Well, it's not just the Dreadlords that are the villains. It's the problem.
Yes. The good guys are the villains. The bad guys are the villains. I bet you even that one villager that did nothing wrong, they're probably a villain too. You know?
Oh shit! Are we playing in a 40k campaign and no one told me?
I'm trying not to. Very hard. I'm also trying very hard to make sure there are at least a couple of groups out there that are not actually villainous. Because, fuck that.
Right.
Fuck that level of nihilism. It sucks. But, so, Nick said, basically suggested, maybe pitching in, helping out, giving sort of, helping out with the Dreadlords and such. And that sparked an idea in my head, which was that every player who wants to, I'm just going to hand them one of the Dreadlords. They'll when that Dreadlord is on screen and being played, they will RP that character, and I will work with them behind the scenes on plots and ideas for when that Dreadlord, what they're up to, what they're doing, so that I don't have to focus on 7 additional uber powerful villains on top of all the other plots I've got going.
Especially because
especially
we're at a point right now in the story where the Dreadlords are interacting with each other a lot.
Yes.
Well, we're just kind of waiting for something that we can affect to happen.
Yep.
So cutting down on you having to talk to yourself, I'm sure will also be very.
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. That wasn't very awkward last session. No, not at all.
I'm just making that thought explicit.
Yeah, it honestly, that was sort of one of those, oh, wow, this is the issue with this scene. It's a great scene. I love it, is I'm playing like 80% of the characters all at once. God damn it. This was a terrible idea. What was I thinking?
I'm reminded of the old Darths and Droids webcomic, where it's just like 80% of the scene is just the GM talking to themselves, and the player is going, he really likes his like behind the scenes stuff. That's
So, yes, that is the plan. So I basically the one thing that I think we all agreed on is that Eric, since Mange is tied to Menuria, talking hard.
Yeah.
Yes, tied to Menuria. Probably Eric probably shouldn't be handling Menuria, and Nick probably shouldn't be handling Jexiel for similar reasons.
Right.
Here's the problem. I'm pretty sure I could do a pretty good Nymeria, but it's just so incestuous to me. So-
Yeah, no, I totally grok that. Honestly, like I could see you actually having a lot of fun with Minoria.
But yeah, it just feels weirdly incestuous. So I'm declining that
And
role.
that is fine. All right. For on stream, I'm going to add browser capture or window capture, I guess. There we go, window capture. Yeah. 1 second. Bang. Y'all can see the just if I need to make edit. So there's something on screen other than the
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, boom, boom. You guys can look at that if you want to. This is just the Google Doc.
Could you link it?
Sure, I can relink it for you.
Thank you.
I think
It is
I
on
think
the
I pinned it.
pinned. It is pinned. The second thing is pinned.
It's pinned? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I try to pin these things if I can.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, there's a pinning feature in Discord. That's really helpful.
Oh, that's why I'm getting echoing. I just realized that you're I had muted Twitch.
That, yes.
That would have been awkward if I'd done that.
Yeah.
Just the constant rah, rah, rah.
As it slowly gets slightly quieter and quieter as it echoes more, less and less.
Now I've got I've been doodling on ideas for both Jexgel and Morbask, the undead gnoll.
Morbask,
But
the
I'm-
ever-living, the undead gnoll
Yes.
warlord. Okay, cool. Those are two you're looking at.
Yep. And those are the guys I've been doodling on. So which one would you want me to start on, or does someone else want to start?
I think I like to say this. I think what a good way for us to go about this might be to pick the overlord that would be most antagonistic to our characters. Maybe come up with a few details about that, and then like hand that off to somebody else to actually
1 second.
play.
I just want to say one quick thing. Thank you, Acknowledge, for the resub. That's
Yeah.
in case people are
So, yeah. So I mean,
I
go ahead.
had a notion, and so we've had various interpersonal relationships between our characters, and I think that at this point it's probably pretty clear that between Wyrod's character and mine, we probably have the strongest ties between the crew. So I think we should play each other's villain.
That's an idea, certainly.
Yeah.
Just have someone who's saying the opposite, or a demented version of what the other has been saying the whole time.
Okay. So that the two ideas that you and Ash just proposed seem to kind of go hand in hand.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Because I think I could do Jexshal pretty well. Someone who has basically antimonious perspectives about things as Steno does.
Mm.
But who would be Steno's opposite?
That's kind of the kick. The thing is the one who probably had the closest tie was probably Minoria, but Mange has claim there
Right.
for the most part. So that
I
kind of
said, I'm not touching Numeria. That just feels
No. I mean your characters have ties, you have history.
Yeah.
I think it's a little much for two of us to have history with one antag, is what I mean.
Right. No, I get
Might I propose then the Necromancer Azurus Kitoran? Because we don't really have a defined goal for this person. And that goal could potentially tie into Steno's history.
Awesome.
Okay.
Possibly.
Before we go too much further with this and divvying stuff up, I will say that I feel like I have a better idea of a few of these Dreadlords than others. And I don't know if there's stuff that we or Peter himself knows that I don't know.
Okay, so that's a please let me elucidate.
So I mean, I feel like I kind of Murnuria, obviously, I think
use some casual conversation.
Jexjal, I think that we have a pretty good idea of. He came across, I think, very clearly in the last session that we had as just being like very different from the others, and also there is the history that we've kind of laid out and in terms of what he does, what he's all about, and stuff. And then there's like Murnuria that is very vain. Wings of Eagles is very not explicitly evil, and so that kind of sets her apart from the others. But then there's like Morbask and Tauldren seem very similar in my mind, and Zurus and Jansis also seem very similar in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't do much with Zurus, to be completely honest. But there are definite links between those two pairs. You're right. Because we've got a Necromancer and a Lich, and then a Death Knight and an undead Null Warlord.
So I'm just, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of distinction just in my head right now between them. So obviously we can do some work, today to establish those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll be honest. I had not fully okay. So
Improv ahoy.
Okay. So of the Dreadlords, the ones I had the most notions for about who they are and what they are before we even got to any scenes with them are Jexjal and Murnuria are the two I had the most most handle on, simply because there were two players. They were tied to the player characters.
right.
So I had to spend some time thinking about them.
No, I get you.
Jansis Aldor is, he is the ancient Lich, so that sort of implies certain things. Also, was dead for a long time, was quote dead end quote for a long time, and is now is back to being undead.
Steno probably knows him.
It's entirely possible.
I have some ideas for Justice Aldor
Okay,
that would tie him pretty well into Ignatius.
Sure, we can put a pin in that for the moment.
Yeah.
I had come up with literally nothing for Zurus Keterbane. Like, literally, he's a necromancer and is evil and is powerful. He is technically different than the Archlich. I'm just not sure how yet. Other than he's not dead, he's alive. He's quote just human end quote. Which puts him actually literally, of the Dreadlords, there's exactly one of them who is. There are two of them who are basically, human, and one of them is much less so than the other. Which are Zurus and Murnuria.
Right.
Because everyone else is either dead or monstrous in some way, shape, or form. Tauldren is, as I said, he's sort of your classic sort of undead warlord. I hadn't really gone much beyond, he leads an army of the dead and is trying to conquer the world. I hadn't gotten beyond that. Morbask is very specifically, the big difference is, Morbask is an undead gnoll, but his goals are related to the gnolls and not just like conquering the world for, haha, I want power. It's no, we are fucking gnolls and we're going to be fucking in charge. This is our world, god fucking damn it. And I'm now undead, you can't fucking stop me. Also, he's a gourmet, so or gourmand.
Yeah, well,
technically, he likes eating
I think
things.
that ties into the whole. When I was pitching ideas for that, I was like, he should be a gourmand because gnolls are all about hunger, and this is a guy who knows how to eat.
Let me just get this. Okay. I'm just going to put this in here. That one. Okay. That is Jansis. And
Okay, hang on. There we go. Make sure it's good. I mean, kinda, yeah. Kinda. God damn it, when Kubo's on, he's actually really good, isn't he?
that actually brings up like an interesting idea for Jancis, is that he's a dreadlord and controls this huge swath of land and undead, but he's largely disinterested in the rest of the world.
Yeah, sure.
And that is Tauldren, rather.
Is this
I
a
just need to
magic
find-
character?
It's a League of Legends character.
Oh.
I just need to find 5 more references to make. Actually,
Well,
I know
I
what
give
I know
you a
what
lead on the next one.
I know what Maria is. Hang on, let me just find a good picture of them.
I like Berrigan as the image you're using for Jancis, Nick. I really
Yeah.
do. Also,
The
I agree with Nick,
other
with
form.
Eric, the really sort of bored, sort of like, oh, fuck this all. Fuck all of this expression.
Like, he's largely disinterested in the rest of the world, is sort of like lost anything resembling motivation or ambition, and is largely just clutching to what he has, because he lost it once, and there's no way he's gonna fucking do that again. Which is the only reason he's at the Dreadlord, the Dreadlord Conclave, is because, well, the rest of them are talking. I have to be there so that they don't threaten my own holdings.
Yeah. Honestly, I could also see an element of him basically being, he's bored and all that, but there's also this level of, yeah, I'm undead and basically unkillable. I just have to wait and I win.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's Murneria, but just like, evil. There you go.
That one I don't recognize, Nick.
Yeah.
That's Ayame from Fruits Basket.
Okay.
He's wonderful.
I'll take your word on it.
And he's voiced by Chris Sabat in the Funimation dub.
All right, then.
That's a plus in his favor.
See, like, when we're discussing, like, vain, self-interested, beauty-focused assholes, I was thinking of that one guy from Utena.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is basically evil Ayame, so yeah.
Yeah, you should replace that picture.
Yes. I've never actually watched Utena, but I do recognize that by reputation. So
You're talking about the headmaster, right?
I only have a tangential understanding. I just remember there being like some like brunette guy who's just like all about himself and like.
So you mean most of the male characters?
Like this guy in particular. This guy who's like the biggest self-interested douchebag. At least as far as I know.
Are you talking about the one that rides the pink Cadillac on the hood with his
okay,
shirt
so
open?
I have a very atypical Utena experience, and it's extremely limited and weird. And that's the Saturn visual novel.
Fair enough.
And that's it. I've never seen anything else.
All right,
Utena.
so you're talking about the brunette. So that's the there's no brunette guy.
He's like
might be the darker skinned guy.
Are you talking about
with white hair.
Akio?
Keto, that's his name. Yeah.
That sounds correct. I think he's like the head of the fencing club or something.
Okay, he's the guy with the green hair.
Yeah.
Green, green, brown, same thing to me.
Fair. That's fair.
Fair
Hang
enough.
on.
Yeah.
I'm going to open a link here. No, that's the wrong thing. I did not want to do that. I wanted to open the image. There we go. So
personality-wise, Demaria always struck me as kind of a beautiful Baron Harkonnen.
Either one of those two? Is it either one of those two?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, other than color scheme,
yes, that asshole on the right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the head of that's Sionji, the head of the fencing club.
Yeah.
Sionji, that's it.
Yeah. Maybe. I think personality-wise, he ties in probably better to the headmaster, which I think is Akio. It's been a while since I watched it.
Honestly, like I sort of imagine him personality-wise as Baron Harkonnen from the books, not from the David Lynch movie.
Well, that's not hard. Yes, Eric. So you mean actually Baron Harkonnen?
Yeah, not a screeching Batman.
There are things about the Lynch movies I like, but Baron Harkonnen is not one of them.
He had a really great coat.
But at any rate, yeah. There are a lot of different but yeah, we'll find an image for him later. But actually,
But no, I don't imagine he's actually a fat man who can only waddle about because of anti-grav suspensors.
Let's see here. So let me see. All right. So we have.
Hang on a second. I've got an image of Akio from Utena. He's not quite right, but image-wise,
Image-wise, that's Demaria all over.
Look at how awesome I am.
I'm gonna drive my Cadillac down this highway, while lounging on the hood with one arm on the steering wheel.
not even on the steering wheel at this point. That is the final arc. That is final arc Akio, and he is something special. At any rate,
Queen Mab with a penis, honestly.
I like your description of him as the champion of Slaanesh.
Yes, that too.
All right.
At any rate, back to the actual topic at hand. Unless Nick finds more fun images.
No, I'm kind of drawing a blank on the others. Although I mean, actually, hang on.
The Jans is the one that is the most, honestly, the most inspired for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Just. And I think actually, not intending to, but I think some of that sort of exhaustion and boredom came across when I was playing him last session. Also, his sheer and utter contempt for most of the other Dreadlords. It's like, oh god, you guys are idiots, all of you. He has a special place of contempt in his heart, in his lack of heart for Minuria.
I really like the idea of Jexiel being all about, like, sure, I will absolutely watch Numeria, like, achieve godhood and pay very close attention to the rituals and techniques used, and then kill him.
There we go.
Because of course I can kill a god. I'm a beholder. I can do anything.
There's Jigsaw.
Kinda.
Gods, they're good eating.
Just not that funny. Also much larger.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Mash.
like 5 feet across.
Read Magu-chan.
Magu-chan is funny. I've only read little bits of it, but the bits I've read are very funny.
All right. So we've got in the party we've got Iggy, Mange, Steno, Diesel, the Golem, Gav's Goblin. His name is escaping me.
Zoggett.
Zoggett. Am I missing anyone? Is that everyone?
Yeah.
I think that's everybody.
I think you mentioned 6.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mentioned
Diesel.
myself. I mentioned myself. 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There are 6 players. There are 7 Dreadlords, technically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Not everyone has to have a connection to anybody. Also, just as
No. I think that might have actually partially been why like some of the puzzle pieces weren't fitting together. My brain was that. So, and hey, that leaves one that you can just play. So
Yeah.
But
well,
it'll be one
and
person.
again, if someone doesn't, if nobody has to play one, like I do not want to force people to do this.
Yeah, for my problem is one, I've been out for several sessions, so there's some developments I'm not privy to, and beyond that, like which Dreadlord is going to be interested in the Golem? I don't know.
Oh,
The
they don't have.
Golem-
It doesn't have to be.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is that like in terms of developing an idea about any of the Dreadlords with relation to the Golem, that's a tough question to answer because
Well, that can just be one of the guidelines for helping us figure out who wants to play what.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be the only one.
Yeah.
Sure,
I understand what you're saying, but
I'm struggling to come up with anything meaningful to contribute to any of this at the moment. It's just my point.
Well, if you, I mean, again, like if you've got any ideas, feel free to shoot them out or just feedback. Even feedback's helpful. Like feedback's helpful too. Don't forget.
Feedback is absolutely helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all right. So we do for just sort of as a feel. Do any of you, ignoring other stuff we've mentioned, how many of the Dreadlords you guys have? To, like, I know Skitch, you weren't there for the session. So you, but for the rest of you, which ones really sort of stood out? Like, did you get a feel for anything at all from the person from how I handled them on screen for the brief moments I did?
It was a while ago. I would honestly need to review it because I don't really remember anything other than Jekshall's interaction with Diesel
So the ones
and
I got
General Manurianus.
Wings of Eagle.
aside from Jexiel and Lemuria, the ones I got the strongest impression from were Morbask and Wings of Eagle.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot that conversation with Wings of Eagle even happened. It's been too long. I don't have that kind of memory.
It was very brief, but yeah, she was the one that was just going, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
It's like, hey, you actually seem reasonable.
And as for Tauldren archetypically seems very straightforward on how you could possibly play this character.
Yeah, I mean, because he showed up and he had like an entire legion with him and stuff, because that's how he rolls.
Yeah,
right.
I forget who was Xurus's. Was Xurus the one who sent the undead necromancers?
No, that was Tauldren.
That was Tauldren. Oh, I thought Tauldren had the
he has the other
Death Knight Honor Guard.
No, I'm sorry, you're right. The undead the necromancers I think might have been Aldor, Jensen's Aldor actually.
So Jensen's Aldor sent the necromancers.
I think. I don't remember. Oh god, it's been a while. I'll have to rewatch it myself. Fuck.
I remember Xurus had that brief conversation with Kadrix, which was basically like, so have you done any research into like how you came to being? No. But why not? You're the greatest necromantic developed in 100 years. It's not my field.
I do, yeah. Like Xurus, I could see a way to play Xurus, especially as like the new kid on the block.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. He was very frustrated that Kadrix had literally no interest in how he became It's like, but you're the biggest necromantic mystery ever. But
It's not a mystery I'm interested in solving, though.
Yeah,
so many more interesting things to play with.
Yeah, like the impression I kind of got from Xurus is that he's very much kind of like a shit. Who's the guy from BioShock?
Andrew Ryan.
Definitely like an Andrew Ryan. Like this, he's
That's
like
it. Yes.
he's very into this field and knowledge and being in control, and does not give a shit about anybody else underneath him. He is like just
Plastic surgeon one.
No, the guy the oh, you're a man or a slave thing.
Yeah.
That
like the guy who was kind of like Walt Disney.
Who was working for Andrew Ryan, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one you beat to death at the end.
That's
No,
Andrew Ryan.
No, that's.
I am talking about Andrew Ryan, not
Okay.
Dr. Stone or any of the other characters. Like he's got that Walt Disney angle where he's very this is very clear vision of what the future is supposed to be and his place in it, and he doesn't really give a shit about anybody else. He's just a really, really bad boss to work for. And like that guy has his whole necromancer thing because he can't get forces allied with him, so he just sends his troops out to kill people and brings them back as slave labor. But personally, he's very personable and eccentric and maybe even charming. Like if you sit there all day talking to him, he would have a very clear. You might be like, this guy's all right. And then you walk
That
outside
sort of
his room and you see everybody
poisonlessly
changed.
seductive charisma.
Yeah,
Or just one of those cases where it's like you listen to someone talk for long enough, and it's like they're just so single-minded and fascinating to listen to that you kind of understand where they're coming from. I get what you mean.
like that would be my kind of take for like Zurus Tyrion.
For my money, I feel as though I could do I feel as though I could do right now Jantis or Minoria.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I could do someone very bored, and I could do someone who's just so confident that they see the way that everything should be, and and just doesn't care that nobody else sees the beauty that they see.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I could do either Warbask or Jexial fairly well. Warbask because I could do the whole like half mad obsessive who's looking to conquer the world, less for. Here's the thing: he's got Knowles on his side because he wants to turn the world into his own personal larder. He wants to eat everything.
Okay.
Like that's his obsession. Like in my head, he's like this like mummified, this gigantic mummified knoll with like partially like rictus grin face on his face all the time, and like the no nose, just the exposed bone, and this perpetually bloated stomach that he keeps stitched up so that he can undo the stitching, dump everything out, stitch it back up, and keep eating.
Okay.
That's a very Eric idea.
Yes, it is.
It's gross.
Well,
I love it.
I also just like he's just like the idea of just this fundamentally disgusting and obsessive creature that really doesn't give a fuck if you think he's disgusting.
Okay.
Why, thank you.
No, less that. It's like, you're disgusting. Pass more meat. You will be taste good too. Yes.
I can just imagine getting an invitation to a feast of Morbask, and it's just this complete horror show.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, bring in the orphans.
Okay.
Oh, he's a dreadlord, and he should be like fundamentally terrifyingly evil.
Oh yeah, no. That.
But totally play up that sort of like deviant horror show about him.
Okay.
It'd also be just like a general way that like the others kind of find him off-putting. It's I think that like with very few exceptions, all of the Dreadlords should have a particular way that the others like don't get them or find them off-putting in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's, Jack Chow. He just, creates things, and he doesn't give a shit about, the laws of nature or whatever.
Wait, he's
is
utterly alien is the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
He makes things and discards them.
And then there's Murnuria, who, nobody sees the world the way that they do, and so he's got that his whole palace set up and is with this idea of beauty. And then you've got, Jansis, who is just so old that nobody can really relate to him on any sort of level. Then you've got Wings of Eagles, who doesn't really match the way that the others are evil and stuff. And then like you just laid out there, Eric, with Morbask, he's just horrifyingly disgusting because he just eats everything. So
I kind of view Wings of Eagles almost as like this Mongol, where they have this where they're both very civilized and like very barbaric at the same time. Like where they're from, like this would be like the height of civility, and it just doesn't translate well once they leave their borders.
Yeah, Wings of Eagle, I get a very like Genghis or Kabuli Khan kind of vibe from.
Okay. Yep.
Like yes, I'll play the game because it's what's required right now. But I am so done with you guys.
Yeah, this is I would like inspiration wise, like you ever play Ghost of Tsushima? Like the Mongol leader of that is like, hey, I came here and I offered you peace and you spit in my face, so the gloves are off.
Yep.
And like the opening scene is him like just holding this cup as a samurai comes up to him and he just throws it on him and lights the guy on fire. He's like, no, I'm done. We're
Yeah.
doing this my way.
Yeah. All right, so that's an angle on Wings of Eagle. I like that. I actually do like that, actually.
I also really like the idea, like playing back into the whole Genghis Khan thing. Like one of the reasons that she's a Dreadlord is because she comes in and she offers you, gives you an option to join or trade, and if you do anything to offend her, everything is laid to waste.
Yeah.
Like no stone upon another, salt the earth. Well, not salt the earth because that's useful, but like kill everyone higher, kill every human taller than a wagon's axle. That kind of deal.
Okay, yeah, no, that is basically where I was going with her, honestly.
Okay.
You know, she happened to be interacting with one of the only Dreadlords who she has any respect for, and that's largely due to the fact that he's like, she interacts with him and he's like, yeah, sure, I'm happy, yeah, trade stuff. If we happen to be anywhere near each other, sure, why the hell not? I don't care.
Yeah.
Yes, you want these things? I'm more than happy to interact with, like, to work with you. Like, fine. You've done nothing to harm anything I care about, so yeah.
I think in the Wings of Eagle's eyes, Kadrix is also like the station builder, but like Kadrix just has no idea that's what he's doing. So she has an actual respect for him because he actually has this functioning society.
I'm not sure I understand the reference to station builder.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that.
Nation.
Myself.
Oh, nation builder. Oh,
Okay.
Okay. I heard station. I was.
I'm
like,
sorry.
Yeah, I was like station, just like okay, like I guess.
Station. I heard nation builder as well. So.
I was just like, I don't see Kadrix at the front, with the engine pulling the whistle, woo woo.
Oh my god, Kadrix would love trains, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah.
I fucking love trains.
Kadrix would absolutely be one of those guys with like an entire floor dedicated to his train set, Gomez Adams style.
Oh, no doubt.
I come here when I need to think.
As he sits on the train and careens around the room on it.
He puts on his chief engineer's cap.
All right. Well, yeah. All right. So we got sort of more angles on each of the Dreadlords, which is good. All right. So Nick, of the two, word you expressed that you were actually interested in Jexiel, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nick, you all right, so Eric, why don't you take Morbask then?
I can definitely do more Bask.
Yep. Word, you can have Jexiel, and
Can't see Eric playing a Null. I mean,
yeah, that's such a stretch. Eric playing a horrible cannibalistic monster, never.
Yeah,
but I mean, I can't like object to this though. I mean, he laid out the whole thing as like, well, okay, I'm not coming up with anything better than that. So
honestly, both he and Jexiel were the ones I was noodling on. So
right,
largely because they're the ones that left the biggest impression on me outside of Kadrix.
That's fair. Nick, do you have a preference for Minuria or Jancis Eldor?
I've kind of been going back and forth on it. I feel like either one that I end up with, I could do something with. So
okay. Ash, you seem to be interested in so okay. Do you have an interest in any of them in particular to play?
I have a very clear image of how I would play Zurus.
Okay. All right.
The only issue is Zurus really doesn't have an antagonist yet.
Well, he doesn't. He
so-
doesn't necessarily. He might. He probably doesn't have one initially. He might develop one as we go. Is the thing. We don't know what Zurus's plans are yet, and that's something I'd have to work with you on.
Yep.
And honestly, it might be that he's like almost a dark reflection of Kadrix, where he's like very into his research and stuff like that. It just happens that his research involves, taking bodies apart and putting them back together or raising them from the
I mean,
dead.
I can say
So-
the first thought that I had with him, honestly, is he is in many ways sort of the necromancy equivalent of Kadrix. In that he is obsessed with perfecting the art of necromancy, whatever that means to him. I haven't decided that yet. That he is searching for what would be the ultimate pinnacle of sort of necromantic magic, and I haven't really decided what that is yet. Oh God, I just had a horrible idea for one.
What's that?
All right, this is all right, so one of the arts of necromancy is, raising the dead, right?
Sure.
Mhm.
And this would tie him sort of weirdly into Word. What if his goal is to find a way to raise a dead god?
I was wondering if you were going to
Oh.
go there.
Yeah,
That would be
and,
pretty
and
good.
of course bind it to his will because, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's a necromancer. Of course that's what he'd want to do. An evil necromancer specifically.
Actually,
I was
seems
gonna
to be
say.
very much like an obsessive micromanager too.
Like, he's not trying to achieve apotheosis. That's stupid. You don't want to be a god. You want to control the gods.
You want to be the Grand Vizier.
And like the best way that would tie into Steno is that like maybe the form of her old god is gone missing.
Well, I mean,
And
there are a bunch of
it's
dead.
from the lab.
I was sort of reading into the sort of Senno's dead god. There probably is an entire pantheon that's just gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking that it may not be that Zurus is specifically tied into that god, but like just that line of research. If and when it comes up, Senno's gonna be like, oh no.
Oh, that would be
Right.
an excellent point of temptation.
Like you've
too.
better fucking on, and of course, like that's exactly where hers is exactly where it goes, and it's just like stop corrupting my love.
Well, it could also just be a point of temptation for Steno too. Like, I can give you back your god. Come with me. Together we can raise her from from death and make her whole again. I mean, that last part is obviously a lie because you can't be whole when you're completely bound to the will of a pathetic mortal. But that's the angle he pushed towards you.
I can definitely see that attempt being made. I don't ever see Steno buying into that.
Well, no.
The offer has to be made though, because that's
Yeah.
Oh,
one of
absolutely
the best
make the
parts of
offer.
it.
All right, so that
The
is
question-
an angle
the
to go with
question
for
there
Zurus.
The question there isn't will Steno accept or not. The question there is how quickly is she going to attempt to break this person where they stand upon hearing this?
Yeah. All right. So we've got that. All right. So Ash, all right. So that sounds like that'll work. And which makes this whole sort of what Murnuri is up to probably very interesting to Zurus. So I'm not going to oppose that. That's stupid. Like studying though, that will give me plenty of useful information for what I'm planning.
By the way, I have to. After that image, or at least the mental image that I was given, and some of you may be on the same line here, but we just kind of need the correct picture.
Oh dear.
And I feel that this is probably about as good as we are going to get.
But like, put a skull over the snake.
Yeah.
That's
I can do classier than Jafar.
Maybe the
Jaffa
judge
is
would like
immensely
that.
classy.
All right.
Incidentally, Disney's landed 2 for 2 on not pronouncing names correctly.
Well, yeah.
I'm shocked.
Shocking.
Okay, let me refrain. Let me rephrase that. 2 for 2 on fucking up names, because they get the genie's spelling wrong and they get the pronunciation of Jaffa's name wrong.
Is it because it's not spelled like Jean?
Genie is spelled Djinni.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the plural drops the I at the end because
Right.
Middle Eastern languages are not English and
Yep.
do not follow the same rules.
Shocking. Shocking.
Give
All
us a couple centuries,
Yeah.
and we'll incorporate some of those.
Yeah,
words.
by basically having him be Gene but throwing in an I and making it Genie, Disney basically ruined the word genie forever by making it the character's name, and people think that's his species.
To be perfectly fair, that's been an issue long before Disney's Aladdin ever came out.
Oh, certainly. I'm just saying it don't help.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. A little bit of classic TV reference for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. And again, it's basically taking a name
Yep. Well, that was the whole point of the title of the show.
and then conflating it with, the species.
Well, yeah, she's Genie the genie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even as a kid watching that show, I was like, dude, you have a benevolent God willing to do anything you want. Just let her do it. Help you.
No, we must bathe in the stereotypes of women being willful, uncontrollable idiots.
But she wasn't willful. She was always trying to help him and do what was best for him, and he
She was
never
will-
let her.
She was willful when she was disobeying him.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being willful.
That
In
was
and
not
of
how that
itself,
was presented
no.
in the show,
It's-
though, Eric.
But yeah, like that's not the presentation.
At any rate,
So one of the weird things about that show that I remember learning at some point is that they had an evil sister of Genie show up, and she was also Genie. So
Yeah.
that's not confusing.
yeah.
Genie don't have names. That would be silly.
At any rate,
Otherwise, we would have to learn their names, and then it gets really weird. Where is it? There, look at them in like those like saffron pants, and just go, yeah.
okay.
Not sure where that thought went exactly. But okay.
That thought just went into really dark, dumb stereotypes, and then I lost it.
Fair. At any rate,
spinning off into a weird place.
Okay. At any rate, all right. So let me just jot this down so I've got this written down. All right. All right. Morbask is Eric. It was Tauldren. All right. And that Nick, you haven't decided. We haven't decided yet which of those two you wanted to do.
Right.
And Skitch is. Oh, we've established Skitch doesn't have the connection right now.
I'm not Tauldren. I'm Zervis.
Zurus Keter, but you're right. Yeah. Right. Sorry, right. Right. I looked at the wrong line when I was looking at the name.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, I put it in there. Make sure.
Tauldren is the Death Knight.
We'll also have to figure out if Gav will be up.
If Gav
for
wants
doing
one of them
these.
or anything like that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Pardon me. Sorry about that.
Okay, so. Okay, so Nick, do you don't have a preference for either of those two at the moment? Is what you're saying?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. Right.
The only reason I'm not volunteering to also to like Mineria is because I think I would just take it so far into farcical territory.
Is that a bad thing?
Just completely out of control.
All right. I mean, I will say I do know what Minuria's actual current plan is.
Right.
That's the only one whose actual current plan I know because that's where I was writing.
Ash just takes over playing Minoria. Is like, now that you have been my guest for more than a day, I ask that you all wear these masks with reflective surfaces on them so that I may observe myself in your ugly faces instead.
Change places.
Why are we changing faces? Oh,
Oh, that's even better. Instead of changing places, change faces.
the more that you're moving around, the less that I have to focus on your features. The blur is more appealing.
That's going to be interesting considering Stheno.
I think the fact that pretty much everything is highly reflective is going to be a bigger problem.
Like, Stheno's face is already obscured by her headdress, so it's like this person can't actually look at Stheno in the first place, and I kind of entertained the idea of like, no, she's actually way more beautiful.
I actually
like
like
even
one of the few who can look Steno in the eyes and not be affected.
Oh yeah, that's definitive.
Oh, that's
that'd be interesting.
Disappointing. I was expecting so much more. Put that back on. It disappoints me.
You see, I kind of like the idea
Oh,
that.
honey, no, that hairstyle.
See, I kind of like the idea. What if it's the other way, and Mineria actually sees Stheno as more attractive than he is, and really fucking hates that?
Even better, I think I might be interesting thing. I think what if Mineria can only really see themselves, and like everybody else is just kind of like ugly or blurred, but whenever they see themselves, it's just this utterly radiant kind of thing.
Mineria drawing a project for school. It's a bunch of stick figures, and then me.
Like Mineria's just that far gone. It's like no. They can look right at Stheno. It's like, oh, honey, I only have eyes for myself.
I mean, literally, yes. No, I will say that the Dreadlords, everyone who's technically a Dreadlord has certain levels of sort of, I guess the best way to put it is plot immunity.
Right, sure.
Mm-hmm.
They are not, like, even the mortals are not, like, normal. For various reasons. That's largely due to the fact that they are so intimately tied to nexus to at least one nexus of power. So yeah, like I'm not going to go. I can't go into the full details on that because I haven't fully decided on them. But mostly it's a way of I can have these really powerful guys, and you guys, it's like I don't have to worry. It's like sort of how Feng Shui handles the four monarchs in the actual.
Right.
See, yes, there are these four powerful sorcerers live in another world. No, you can't fuck with them. Well, what are their stats? They don't have stats. Oh.
If you stat it, they
Whenever
will
I
kill
try
it.
whenever I try and do something, I roll the dice, and all the dice just read yes afterwards.
My favorite line about that is they talk. There's one of the NPCs they talk about in there, who is they mention he is an incredible badass, and the way you know that he is one of the people who has survived personal combat with the King of the Thunder Pagoda. Just I love that phrasing. It's like wait a minute.
So he won? No.
He lived. Juan Ken didn't accidentally kill him. Fuck not with Chinese Elvis Pope.
So let me see. I guess as I'm kind of going back and forth between these two options, I feel as though it would almost certainly be more fun for me to play Murnuria, but I feel like it would probably be more interesting to play Jancis.
Okay, if you that sounds like a plan. I'm happy to keep handling Murnuria for the time, especially for the time being, because
you know what they're up to.
I know what they're up to, yeah. And if I don't hand him off to anybody, I can surprise you guys with what he's actually up to.
True that.
All right, so Jancis equals Nick.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do the same accent that I do with Mange as I do on Morbask, but have it be much more raspy in the voice.
Good luck with that, Eric.
Yes, this is good. Yes, bring more. Yes, we will be eating you next. Yeah. That's gonna destroy my voice.
It sounds like a great plan for you, Eric.
I kind of like the idea of him like having like a lazy eye.
Oh, absolutely.
Morbask, yeah.
Morbask, yes. Morbask actually is missing one eye, but it's like that the like perfect like green spark of fire, and then just one like pale cataract over orb that doesn't really track anything terribly well.
But he's undead, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It could just like jiggle around when he moves, like it just goes to odd locations. It just whips his head around, and it just kind of like it's like a freaking glass eyeball in there, just rattling around.
No, the thing is, the time he's serious and actually very, very dangerous is when it actually focuses on something.
Yes.
You never want it to actually be on you for more than half a second, kind of thing.
Well, it's like you can tell, like it's actually not like just sort of like lazily sort of in one area. It's like it focuses on something along with the main the fiery the green fire.
Mm.
It's like when both of them are looking at the same thing, that's a bad sign.
Actually, that's something I was thinking about for Jechiel also, is just, do you know how much trouble you're in depending on how many eye stalks are actually focused on you?
You know, I saw something really gross. What if like Morbask, like he's like horribly unkempt and stuff. He's got like parasites and stuff all over him, but it's because he deliberately like just leaves them there so he can occasionally just kind of and
yes.
He doesn't care if they try and eat him. It's like, oh, okay, you'll be a snack later.
I imagine he's got just this miasma of stench about him. It's both musty and that sort of sickly sweet smell of rotting meat. Like, no one wants to be around him for too long.
We've got
except for the attendant ghoul, the attendant gnolls, who are just like, oh yeah, it smells like lunch.
And he has to sit in 4-hour meetings with the other Dreadlords. Like,
unfortunately, most of them are not human.
They always make like Zura sit next to him. Guys, why am I always sitting next to him?
Like, I imagine the ones that like that get forced to sit next to him are Wings of Eagles and Murnuria, just because it's just like yeah, like just to piss off Murnuria. And then Wings of Eagles has a better sense of scent than anyone else. Just to make her angry.
I think it would all depend on who's currently hosting.
Yeah.
True that, yeah. Like right now, Murray is like, and you will sit at the other head Morbask. Isn't that good for you? Yes, over there. Yes.
I just have images of Morbask sitting next to Zurus at because of course there's a dinner involved, and Zurus is sitting there staring at the food, and every once in a while Morbask's hand will reach over, just plant the entire palm in the middle of the plate, drag over whatever is over there, leaving behind bits.
Are you gonna eat that?
Not
You are
anymore.
not eating that. Yes, now you are not now mine.
he just like, hey Zurus, what's that on your plate? Oh, you not want? Oh, okay, no waste.
Sorry about that.
I actually really like the idea of Morbask just occasionally just bullying Zurus for no good reason.
Which may or may not be a good plan long term.
Well, considering he's undead and Zurus is a necromancer, yeah.
Well, I also just don't think of Morbask as being a planner at all. He's just being very much driven by instinct and desire.
Right.
Which probably makes him less dangerous in the long run, but very dangerous in the short term.
When Morbask hungers, things kind of go to shit. Like Morbask, I need those unicorns for the next feast. Better go take over this territory.
Always hungry is the problem.
Morbask is having findings to report. Morbask discover portal gateway into land of gnomes, fairies, and unicorns. There is nothing left for the rest of you, though.
They were
I actually really like that's one of the reasons why whatever the equivalent of the Feywild is so heavily guarded and sealed off from the material plane, because Morbask found his way in there and ate half of it.
So stupid. I'm sorry. The longer I think about him, the funnier he seems. But it's one of those things where it's yes, but also he's potentially horrifying.
Yes.
And that's what I kind of feel about half of the Dreadlords is that they're so ridiculous that they're funny most of the time, and then it's oh, but I never want them to be pissed off at me. So.
What's the name of the Sorcerer Lich from Order of the Stick?
Zycon?
Zycon,
yeah. They've kind of got the Zycon thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. Zycon in serious business mode is not someone you fuck with.
No. And then you eventually find out, oh, this is why he just doesn't give a fuck. Is because he's, he's so strong that he basically knows that nobody can fuck with him. So, now it sort of feels like Tauldren is the one that's he's just kind of that dude over there. But
I kind of get the impression that Tauldren's very sort of a Darth Vader without the shackles of the Emperor involved.
Okay.
This is my empire. I will expand my empire, and you will do as I say, or I'll crush your skull.
So he's your classic sort of conquering my initial idea for him was he's your classic conquering warlord who goes out, conquers shit, and incorporates into his empire. And once he incorporates his empire, not that bad. It's just that he's undead, and most of his legions are undead, because living soldiers have this issue of being actually he probably has living soldiers. Just that when they die, well, you just bring
they get
them
to
back.
keep being soldiers.
But he probably, honestly, at this point, he doesn't need to recruit armies so much anymore as fight another army, kill it, and then resurrect them as part of his army.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of imagine things don't change when she's conquered you, except that taxes and tithes go up to support other conflicts. Don't ever fall behind on the taxes and tithes.
Well, no, I mean,
He is unforgiving if you do not live up to what he sees as your obligation to him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
But
when I was
sorry, go ahead, Ash.
yeah, so when I was like kind of envisioning Moan, I went through this entire the guild. I was very much going through this list. I'm like, okay, so how would each of these people go through it? My impression of Tauldren was very much like, yeah, Tauldren's like a soldier. He's probably very into like securing rights and privileges for the people that actually fight for him, but probably not anybody else. I couldn't imagine it would be a very good place to live.
Yeah. Like very much like sort of like the I kind of get the impression that where he lives is kind of like the US's propaganda version of the Soviet Union. You do your job, you get by, don't you dare question the order of things.
Tauldren invented the Forever War.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's how he keeps expanding his army.
Exactly.
And eventually, the world will be one undead paradise under his in the Grappa's iron fist.
"Quote unquote paradise," and I imagine Tauldren and Jancis have very conflicting views of what the undead paradise would look like, and that's why they don't get along. And Zurus just doesn't give a shit about anybody at all.
Well, no.
So he's just like they both hate him too.
Well, they probably see him as like some upstart punk. So,
Oh yeah, totally.
like, we've been doing this thing for a really long time. This guy thinks that he knows what all the secrets to the undead. But the thing is that he has the potential to do cause a lot of stuff because he's directly, experimenting with and manipulating a lot of shit. And yeah, the scope of his ambition is really great. And so if he's starting to mess with the gods and stuff, that can of course cause things to potentially be bad for them. So.
Oh yeah. All right. So we got some angles in some of this stuff. I definitely think some of this is going to be. I think this will be fairly useful going forward. Yeah, I will definitely be handling Minoria for the time being.
Yeah, I definitely feel I've been sitting here kind of thinking about it, and I feel more into just going ahead with Jancis.
Okay.
So.
I definitely will want to talk with each of you who are taking on one of these, taking on one of the Dreadlords at some point, just to sort of get your sort of more one-on-one sort of talk about like ideas for what they're doing, what they're up to, and how you want to play them, and sort of what they're sort of what you're sort of feeling and how they feel about the other Dreadlords are. And sort of, one of the important ones is what they think, what their opinion of Kadrix is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will tell you, Minoria just like Minoria. This is something everyone's aware of. Is you're all beneath Minoria because of course you are.
Kadrix who?
No, he acknowledges who Kadrix is because
Wait a minute. Weren't there 6 of you before?
That probably happened at some point.
The hell are they multiplying?
Wait, there were 6 of you before. Now there are 7. There's a second zombie. There's a second lich here. No, not a lich technically. What? But you're an undead spellcaster. This is true. Yeah, whatever.
And then I imagine like Cater's going into this long like list about the technical differences between an undead spellcaster and a lich, and whatever he thinks he is. Well, all this come off like off the top of his head by what he knows because it's not his field of research.
Right. And
then like
Zurus started going to well actually.
And then Zurus starts like going into the actual differences, but by that point, Minoria is just like, no, I don't care. Anyway, on to business.
Yeah, Zurus starts going to well actually mode, and Minoria's like, boring now.
But you listen to his full spiel. Yes, but he's slightly less repulsive than you.
I just imagine like Zurus is just the one that everyone kind of picks on without meaning to. He's the Toby from The Office.
Actually, here's the thing: is I'm fairly certain that like for his overall plans, Zurus is actually okay with everyone underestimating him. It's just that
Yes.
being picked on is frustrating despite that. See, it is
I'm
good
sure
they
that
underestimate
I
me.
imagine Zurus has the plan that's probably the largest in scope and in destruction. And if they actually knew what he was up to, they would probably unite and kill him.
Well, it's probably one of those things where, like, in a less severe way to Kadrix and even Wings of Eagles, like, he doesn't really fit in a lot with who they are in terms of, like, how they treat stuff and their alienness.
Right.
But his accomplishments probably are to the extent that they can't not acknowledge them.
Yeah, he is a good enough necromancer that Jancis can't ignore him. It's like I want to basically Jancis is like I really want to dismiss him, but he actually knows his stuff. Ugh. He's the most powerful mortal necromancer I've ever seen. Hell, he's a more powerful necromancer than almost every lich I know. This is infuriating. Mortals shouldn't be this powerful. That should take more time.
Actually, I like the idea of Jancis just having this secret jealous hatred of Zurus, because Zurus has achieved more in his short lifetime than he has in the past 2 centuries. Like, yeah, now I'm more powerful, but should he ever achieve undeath, that will be an issue.
That'd be interesting for them to make an effort to deny undeath to them.
Yeah.
And just like, no, you are not coming back as part of my army. You are very not coming back. I will see to it that you never come back.
Actually, I could totally see Tauldren thinking this is a great killing him and resurrecting him is a great idea, and Jess is going, "No, that's a terrible idea. What are you thinking?"
It's a terrible idea. What? No. Why would you do that?
He will
give the corpse to Warbask and be done with it.
The only thing holding him back from unlocking the hidden secrets of the dead that could lead to both of our undoing is the fact that he has not passed through that door. You metal-headed fool.
The whole give the corpse to Morbask thing gives me a total idea. Like, maybe whatever Morbask consumes is just utterly, like, gone.
Yes, I like that.
Oh, so he's gross Kirby.
Like, there might be, like, horrible stuff that, like, comes out later, but, like, whatever it was, it's gone. It's not coming back.
Interesting.
Actually, yeah, I kind of
every time that Morbask comes into a meeting, he wins a battle and he does a dance with 2 other Morbasks.
And it's accompanied by an inappropriately jaunty tune.
Oh
man.
And then Tauldren is Meta Knight.
That's terrible.
I actually really like the idea that Warbask just hates music.
Okay.
Oh, so one of the reasons Murnuri plays is to piss him off.
Yes. Warbask hates music.
You can't eat it.
Partially because, and just like a cultural thing for Knowles, like, music and art just isn't, like, part of their culture, which is one of the things that sets Mange apart from them, because he really likes music and art. He learns something
Eric,
in the slave pits.
Part of the issue with music is it is an act of pure creation.
Yes.
And Morbask is basically entropy.
Yes. Yes.
To get a little metaphysical.
I actually really like that idea, honestly. It's something everyone but Morbask has twigged onto.
Right.
Because Morbask just isn't... Oh, I really like the idea that Morbask is actually this weird, like, focus of entropy and decay. and he hasn't twigged onto it because he's just not. And by very nature, he's not an introspective entity,
Right.
because entropy, by its nature, isn't introspective.
Right. Also, I do like the idea. I do like the idea that Minoria, despite being a complete narcissist, is very good at picking up on what annoys other people.
Yes.
Like, it's like he's so focused on himself, but like the one thing he's good at picking up on is, oh, that annoys them. I should make sure that happens often, in subtle ways, so they can't prove I'm trying to piss them off.
Oh no. One of those.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Minoria is terrible.
I'm
That's the
not
whole point.
touching you.
The whole point.
Minoria is a Karen.
No.
No, because Nemiria wouldn't lose his shit the way Karens do. That would be beneath him.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. That's bothering you. Oh, I will make sure it's not. I will make sure that it ceases. I did not know that would be the situation. It might take some time, however. I wouldn't want to disturb the musicians. Sorry, Morbask.
I also like the idea that Morbash just casually destroys works of art while walking through Nemeria's palace, like just completely without thinking too much of it. Pushes over a sculpture, breaks his hand over a painting, kicks over a fresco.
Which is why Minoria doesn't host these very often.
Shits on the rug.
But yeah, all right. So you've got more bad. All right. Trying to think who else. What else we need to go over then. I don't think I'm trying to think of it. Well, I mean, I have ideas of. As I said, I've had ideas of where I'm going with Minoria's plan, but not having to roleplay all of the Dreadlords is going to make actually running a session for the sessions going forward much easier for me.
Excellent.
Because I don't have to play these people. Great. And if Gav or Skitch decide they want one of them, that's fine. That's good.
Did Skitch is still here, isn't he?
Skitch is muted indefinite at the moment. Yeah. I mean, it's a case of I've got so little sort of defined for the two beyond Wings of Eagles, basically a Mongol Khan, but a Tabaxi White Tiger. But yes, I do like the idea that she actually respects Kadrix for the simple reason he's building something unlike the rest of these clowns.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, Tauldren is building an empire. Technically.
I think she has a particular distaste for Morbask, because Morbask's realm is literally just everyone eats everything and then moves on.
Oh, yeah.
They leave nothing but wasteland behind him, and she's just like, that's just not how it's done.
And Jancis Eldor is she finds kind of pitiable because he's just sort of, at least to appearances, he's just sitting there trying to hold on to what he's got.
Yeah.
And that's not what, he's not building anything, he's just stagnating. And again, Tauldren is sort of doing the thing, but it's just wrong. And Minoria is a contemptible fop, whatever. Minoria is honestly, as far as she's going to she probably thinks of Minoria as beneath her, despite that that's a terrible way to think of him.
If Minoria wasn't so powerful, they wouldn't even be on the radar.
Well, no.
Yeah.
But Minoria is weirdly powerful. It just
Yeah, like as far as Wings and Eagles, like this is just some stupid fop. It's like if Miria couldn't like stare at somebody and turn them into glass or something, like I wouldn't even care.
And Zurus, well, he's some necromancer. I mean, yes, he's a powerful spellcaster. Like he's got individual power. What else has he got?
Did Wings of Eagle's perception of Jexial come up? Because Jexial does create things in a way.
I don't. My gut feeling is she has no idea how to handle Jexial. Because he's just so alien. It's just like
I think that's probably everyone's default reaction to Jexial is like, how do I deal with this?
except for Morbask, who's like, what would he taste like?
Actually, I have fairly good. Jancis probably has the best idea of how to deal with Jexial, simply due to yes, I've interacted with beholders before. He's an exceptionally powerful beholder, but he is a beholder. Oh, they are. The best way to deal with a beholder is to not.
Like that one time in the Shadowlands campaign, which we almost pulled off. Can we just take this? Oh, you don't care? Okay, cool. And it was like, oh, he's evil. And he's gonna destroy the world. Oh, we should stop him. Damn it!
Yeah, I did love that. He's like, oh, you want the thing? I don't care. I don't need the thing. Yeah, fine, take it. Just leave me be.
Now to enact my plan to destroy everything. Oh, God damn it!
What?
We could have just left him.
Why are you? I thought we made a deal.
We live here.
Why do mortals always get in my way? Ow, 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 ow. Why are they hurting me?
Stop it, that's my eye.
The Lich you guys ran into that you basically was like that you ended up making a deal with is also amusing though. See, yes, I'm an evil Lich, but I have no actual plans or anything like that. I'm kind of stuck in this tower, unfortunately. It's like, I'd love to have plans for world domination, but I'm kind of stuck here.
Can we have this?
What do you want it for? Well, we kind of want to, free the gods and such. That's it. Actually, I approve of that. Yeah, do it. Fuck the drow.
Fuck those pointy-eared bastards.
Because actually, I'm curious. So, because I can't remember this. So one of the gods that they kept out was just their own god.
Their god, death, and their god and death were basically it.
There was one other one that I don't.
Yeah, that was it. I thought there was a third.
There might have been.
There was a third. There was definitely a third.
But yeah,
and I remember the Raven Queen was like the least jerk of them.
Well, yeah, they didn't imprison the Raven Queen because, if we get rid of death, that seems like a terrible plan.
Yeah, exactly, and that was like the one reason. And so it's like that's kind of like why there was like any like divine intervention at all was just the Raven Queen going, okay, this is some shit.
And they're like, well, Raven Queen's neutral. She has no like sort of thing in the cosmic bouncer thing. It's like, yes, you removed all the good deities. I kind of have to naturally there has to be a balance, you idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I'm neutral, therefore I have to take up the opposing. Therefore, I should take up the opposing position so there is balance. You dumbass. God, the Drow are stupid. Why did you not leave at least one good deity around?
I love the idea that so we can imprison all the gods. Excellent, including death. Awesome. Then we can live forever. But then we can't kill our insubordinate underlings. And the insubordinate underlings are like, but then we can't kill our bosses to take their position. We need death.
That's basically what happened. See, but then we don't have then nothing can die. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's a terrible idea. You're right. Shit. Right. So death stays.
You win this round, Death.
I always do.
I never thought that this day would come.
Oh no, I've won again. You're right. That never happens.
Just like turns around and makes a tally mark. Like, where did Like,
It's just
wait a minute. You just marked it. You just marked that wall with something the same color as that wall. Oh, it didn't used to be this color.
The Raven Queen. The Raven Queen. That was one of my favorite touches in the Shadowland setting. I don't remember. I think you're right. There was some other JD that was free, but I mean, there was also all sorts of plans going around. Like people still worshipped their various deities. They were just imprisoned, and they didn't get the full effect out of Like Chris was a follower of a deity that was imprisoned.
Right.
Yeah, Loth was free, Raven Queen was free, and I forget if anyone else was, but yeah. But yeah, back to this.
I just had an amusing thought of Tauldren sounding like Admiral Patton, and it made me giggle. Mendarian, you magnificent bastard! I've read your book.
I also like the Tauldren is actually not stupid. It's just that like Jancis and Zura sort of underestimate his actual brains. It's just that he's not a academic and or a spellcaster. He's not a wizard. But he understands like Tauldren does understand some of the concept of necromancy fairly well. He's just not a spellcaster. And doesn't understand like some of the theory behind it. It's just Tauldren is just Tauldren is not dumb. He's just direct.
He's simple, not stupid.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I could do it that way, or I could use my overwhelming army of the dead to crush my enemies before me.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. A lot of military stratagems kind of like revolve around minimizing casualties. For him, that's really not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
he also doesn't have to worry about supply lines.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't feed my troops. What will I do?
But you're the people like you're the citizens in that part of your country will starve.
Oh no, what will I do? Raise them.
They will
they
continue
didn't want to
to
starve. They continue
to
the army.
serve me in death. So whatever. We really don't like you. That's nice.
I actually like the idea that Tauldren, one of the most terrible things about Tauldren's nation is that death is not a release. You are automatically raised and continue doing your work. Like it is some sort of major necromantic spell that Xeris wants to know how it works.
Well, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, because if it just automatically raised people, then how does he maintain control and study the process? That's no good to him. But knowing it would be good.
Right. Yeah, basically Zenith in the chat. He's a post-scarcity army. Kinda, yeah. Just not in the good ways.
Yeah, not at all in the good ways.
Tauldren is horrifying. Dear Lord, he's basically the Grey Goo catastrophe.
Yeah, he is.
Yeeg. It's like the replicators from Stargate.
Tauldren is going to Tauldren is going to conquer the planet and then set his eyes on the stars and just be like, all right, I got this one, and just keep going for all eternity.
That's his plan. That is basically his plan. And eventually some of the Dreadlords will probably oppose him.
What did we say about trying to prevent this from becoming a 40k game?
There's a way you do that is by having people who who are opposed to this and not actually evil. Have actual good guys. You know, hope. That thing that doesn't exist in the 40k universe.
Ah, yes. Hope, that thing that the depressed immortal and the good guys totally has.
There are other good guys out there, you just have to find them.
I mean, to be fair, Mage is fundamentally a hopeful creature.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has evidence things get better. He was in the slave pit, Numeria's slave pits, and now he's in the Tower of Ivory and making things better for everyone. Clearly, hope works and is a thing.
Yeah, I would even argue that with the Brotherhood of Non-Living Entities. Like, they're one of the few genuinely good relief organizations out there that have like a plan for what to do that isn't horrifying.
Yeah. I would say Wings of Eagles is probably Wings of Eagles is the as we said is of the main Dreadlords is probably the least evil.
Yeah.
Though she is utterly ruthless. There is no Ruth there.
Ruth forgot to pay her rent and was evicted.
But, she's perfectly happy to, not completely obliterate everything in front of her. Just, don't be an ass about it and actually deal with them. Actually, treat her envoys with respect and actually negotiate.
Yeah, that she is the ruler of the Pride, and I think that's very much what her thing is pride. You have to treat Wings of Eagles as this magnificent leader that she believes she is, and maybe she is, maybe she's not, or she's just going to lay waste to you.
I think it's kind of more like.
I mean, I think that's definitely an element.
I think there's something of an element of that, but like in my head, like it kind of goes like. Pride is, as you're saying, like kind of a. It's got multiple meanings there. It's like, okay, yeah, she leads the Pride and she's proud, but I think that also has an extension in that, to have pride in oneself is to respect oneself, and in doing so, you respect others, kind of thing. It's like, okay, if you treat another one with respect, then you're respecting, like, what they are and, what they're proud of and whatnot. And to deny that is to express, disdain or disinterest, which she does for like all of these destroyers, but she respects, creators and whatnot, and respects their pride in that sense. If that's tracking.
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of the reason why she's building an actual kingdom. She's trying to build something that she could look at and have pride in. It's like, look at this. Look what this society I've built. All you other motherfuckers are digging up bones. What's wrong with you?
Or eating them.
Don't be ridiculous. Minoria is not doing anything like that. He's attempting apotheosis. That's far more something.
Say what you will about Minoria. At least Minoria's got goals.
Oh, yeah. I will be as unto a god. No, screw that. I will be a god. Yes.
Yes, you become God. Then I eat you. Never eaten God before.
Did someone say something from that end of the table?
Smash.
It's just, Minoria and Morbas do not go along.
No, they don't. Of course they don't.
I actually really like the idea that they're two complete opposites. Both still terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Well, yeah. Minuria is awful. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Just in a completely different way. And and then there's as we said, the utterly alien Jexial. Just like, fuck. What do we do with? I don't understand. No.
I kind of believe that is Jexial's strength. It's just that because Jexial is just so completely alien to everybody else,
Well,
they
he's
have
also a
no
beholder.
idea.
That makes him very, very powerful.
Well, yeah, like they don't really have any idea of what to expect plan-wise. Like, what is Jexial gonna want?
Or where
like,
in his territory his stronghold is. They know it's underground somewhere. The truth is, he's got a dozen. And he moves between them at random.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like it's probably like just like a balkanization. He's got, or it, whatever it is. I don't really know how you fucking gender a beholder.
You don't.
They.
Yeah.
I think it is most appropriate. I mean, it's.
Yeah, it just
beholders
has all
are
these bases.
things. So let's be real.
Yeah, like it just has all these bases everywhere, and it teleports between them, and that's sort of like what makes Jexial so terrifying to fight. Is you really don't know when and where that's gonna pop up at. Although, considering Jexial is working with, oh god, what are they called? We're just Illithid, freaking mind flayers. Yeah. Like, there's clearly something going on there because I think those guys have plans. Even if Jexial does it.
Oh, Jexial has plans, but they're utterly incomprehensible. Why is he propping up this failing kingdom? I have no idea. It makes no sense. They don't even have any resources he could want. And now he's stopped and it's collapsed.
Yes, Jexial works with a bunch of other abominations. You are correct. The mind. There are Illithid who are under there's there are Illithid under his sway. Probably a couple of Aboleths.
Yep. We're probably annoyed that something as young as a beholder is telling them what to do.
It's like, why is it? Why are you able to? Oh, right, Dreadlord. Fuck. Oh, that's bad. And then there's the Upstart Kadrix.
Yes. Who largely just wants to be left alone to do his thing.
Yeah.
Kadrix, he would show up wearing his collared sweater and have his teacup. If his underlings didn't like, no, you can't do this.
Boss, the good robes. What? Oh, right.
Kadrix definitely has bunny slippers or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Around him. Kadrix has bunny slippers that are so old and tattered they barely resemble rabbits anymore, but they're his favorite slippers.
Ah, yes, dire rabbit slippers.
I've got it. I finally have the perfect image of how I imagine Kadrix.
Before you mention this, Ash, Eknell's in the chat asked the question: is each Dreadlord base attuned to a nexus or several? Yes, that is definitely part of it. In order to be attuned to, yeah, kinda. I'm not quite going full there, but yeah. But yeah, there's definitely.
I suppose I could give one of my doomsday devices and still be feared.
But yeah, like one of the mysteries is Wings of Eagles is a leader of a nomadic tribe. Where the hell is the nexus she's attuned to?
Turns out that necklace she's wearing is actually 24 philosopher's stones in it, and a holding pattern to keep them from interacting with other nexuses.
Oh, that would be like a horrible thing to do. Like maybe she knows how to make philosopher's stones, and that's what she does to like the kingdoms that just don't get in line.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
Just
That's ruthless.
just a mass sacrifice.
Oof.
Like, and nobody knows what's going on because like you can't imagine it happening like this. It's almost like Full Metal Alchemist, where like like you built a freaking summoning circle out of like 3 other cities, and we're just gonna sacrifice everybody within the tri-state area.
Agnelis, can they be tuned more than one like the characters in Feng Shui? Yes. Also, Feng Shui, can you undertune people forcibly from a Feng Shui set? Yes, you can. It is the process for there are a couple of ways to become undertuned. The easiest way is to blow up this, basically to destroy the site. This is called burning a Feng Shui site, which leads to being forcibly deattuned. It is a very, very uncomfortable sensation for anyone who happens to. The more powerful the site that you are deattuned from, the more unpleasant it is. Like, yeah, you know when one of your sites has been burned. It's kind of hard to miss. But yes, I think there are technically other ways to deattune someone, but I'd have to look at. I know there are. I just don't remember what they are off the top of my head. The easy way is what the jammers do. Boom.
Oh, that's why Morbask is a Dreadlord, not because he's attuned to Nexus points. He eats them.
Interesting. It's possible, yeah.
I could imagine that actually being how
Oh lordy, Eric!
Morbask
No.
got his power.
It's more. It is a little bit different. You ready for this one, Eric?
Sure.
He ate a Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And that it just kind of twisted.
And it's one of the only things that's not actually destroyed by him consuming it.
Yeah, I like that.
What's this? Oh. Ooh.
I'm never eating this before. You say it's powerful magic? I am eating now. It is spicy. And little sweet. Like pepper candy.
Oh, Eric.
Or gnome.
Eric? So, part of the reason he's extra special bloated is it's sort of his sort of natural entropy trying to destroy the Philosopher's Stone as it's outputting immense energy trying to blow him up.
Yes. Yes.
So actually,
he's a walking time bomb and nobody realizes it.
Basically, yeah.
And maybe all the times he kind of purges himself are just kind of like buying him more time, and he doesn't even know it.
Oh, he might not be, but he's basically in perfect balance. But if he ever decides to try to eat another one, that'd be a terrible idea, probably. Actually, it might not be. Who knows? Maybe the magic being ready that's being consumed by his entry field strengthens the entry field. Who knows? Nobody is certain. Nobody knows he's done this.
Morbask knows, but he doesn't care.
Like, I imagine Jansen's Elder would be absolutely horrified to find out that that's what happened.
Yes.
He did what? Oh no! Oh no!
No.
Jancis and Zurus and Kadrix are all at the table and they find out, and they all just drop their tea. What?
Oh no!
Why would you do such a thing? Was hungry. You're always hungry. Yes.
And if they ever find out, they'll never be sure if destroying him is actually safe or not. It might just end him. He might explode. Who knows?
It might unleash the living entropy inside him and just spread across the world. No one has any idea. So many terrible theories, all of them bad.
See, he might just fall over dead. That's our best case scenario. Yes, and the entropy field in him will probably rot away the ground where he dies, but like, yeah, that continent might be ruined, but that's sort of best case.
Again, this is one of the reasons why the Fae are so very, very afraid of Morbask.
Yes.
Oh, the
And then-
Fae might know.
The Fae almost certainly know.
Not only does it risk their forests like here in this world, but if Morbask ever got into like freaking Arcadia, it just died there.
Yeah,
Holy
I do
shit.
like that, like the Fae queen, like one of the queens is like, yeah, no, we know what happened, and if anyone asks, she'll happily tell, like, no, Morbask, no. Do you know what Morbask did? Well, no, he ate a Philosopher's Stone. Why didn't you tell anybody this before? Nobody asked.
I'm Fae, dear. I can't just volunteer information.
It's not how we work. Also, we figured you people would figure this out at some point. You guys are supposed to be smart.
The Fae Queen totally knows what's going on and how to deal with Morbask, and basically just hasn't done it because of what would happen if she did.
Yeah, because the price involved.
Right.
She's like, it's better to let him just eat a little bit at a time.
I like the idea of one of his earlier marks of infamy was actually invading the Feywild, eating half of it, and then the Fey Queen like taking the field against him, taking one look at him, and goes, "Oh no, 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 no! Seal up this part. No one goes here ever again. Don't ever let him pass this point."
Acknowledge. Back to the question about blowing up feng shui sites. Is that dangerous to the world? Not really, no. You can't... Okay. Up until basically very recently in the feng shui timeline, you can't... You blow up a feng shui site, the chi goes somewhere else. It just... it dissipates, it flows, it goes somewhere else, whatever. You can't blow up chi. That's stupid. Of course, the Jammers found a way to blow up chi, because it's the Jammers. If you find a way to destroy chi, that's really fucking bad. It turns out.
Fundamental force of the universe just gone. Never.
Let's just say that the juncture that the architects used to rule is there's not much there anymore.
It's Mad Maxified.
Well, it doesn't just chi doesn't disobey law of nature. Chi is energy. You can't. Energy technically can't be destroyed. It's life force. It flow. Basically, you blow up a place where it coalesces, and it sort of goes somewhere else. Chi's not a physical substance.
You can't destroy magnetism. We destroyed magnetism. Uh-oh.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, the Jammers found a way to do. We broke one of the fundamental laws of the universe. Why would you do this? Well, chi controls people.
It was just sitting there, not being destroyed.
Well, chi controls people. It subverts their will. We blew up chi to make people free. You realize that chi is what makes people alive, right? Well,
Okay, listen, we forgot to carry the 2 and the 5, and we misplaced the decimal point. But
It's basically like that whole thing, like that's like, emotions are just your chemical processes flooding your brain to make you feel things. You'd be better. Like you realize, like this chemical balance is why we work in the first place, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the Jammers screwed up big time, and some of them realize that. Yeah, basically, Nellis, you'd have to find a way to deattune them from about a quarter of the netherworld. Each. Basically, this is off topic slightly, but to answer a question for someone in the chat about the way the 4 monarchs work. In Feng Shui, the 4 monarchs are... They currently live in the netherworld, which is the world between the various time junctures. And it is where people who have been sort of distimed usually end up wandering to. The four monarchs were four very powerful. There were four siblings who were immensely powerful sorcerers who each ruled 1/4 of the world. They were each attuned to roughly 1/4 of the world's feng shui sites. And then the lodge, the group of transformed animals who founded the Ascended, went to an earlier period, went to a time in history before the four monarchs were born, and took over enough of the feng shui sites and set up the rules of the world so that magic didn't work. Thus causing a massive critical shift, and the four monarchs basically being impossible. But since they've been to the Netherworld, they're basically, if you travel to the Netherworld, you become unstuck in time, effectively. So when the world changes, you don't change with it. So they're like, well, we remember. All right, well, the magic no longer works. Our immortality spells are failing, and we remember everything, and we're not shifting with it. Fuck. Well, if there's no magic out here, that means the Netherworld is magical. Dive into the Netherworld, and they each took over roughly a quarter of the, took over a large chunk of the Netherworld each. But your ability to manipulate and affect things in the Netherworld, Netherworld doesn't really have feng shui sites. Is based on the number of feng shui sites you were ever attuned to. So, since each of the monarchs are attuned to a quarter of the world's feng shui sites, their ability to shape the Netherworld to their liking is kind of basically unparalleled.
Yeah, they'd get to do what they want.
There are exactly 2 people in existence who could rival them in theory, and both of them have exploded. Due to the jammers blowing up all the chi in 2056. Dr. Curtis Boatman and Johann Bonagel, the leaders of the Architects of the Flesh.
Right, those guys.
Each of them were attuned to all of the world's feng shui sites. Literally, the write-up for Bonagel is he says, Chi is so much on his side and he is so intensely charismatic, you can't actually willingly attack him. You just physically, you can't make yourself do it.
One of the supplements out there it describes like one of the like supremely like terrifying demonic assassins that the architects have.
Yep.
And she's
Desdemona Death Angel.
And she's drop dead gorgeous, and no one ever survives sleeping with her, except for Bonagel, which is just a side effect of.
It was Boatman.
It was Boatman, right? Except for Boatman, which is just a side effect of like having all of the world's chi on your side.
Yep. No, she doesn't generally sleep with people. She eats them.
Yes.
No, she prefers babies. They make her feel less bloated.
Baby.
What is? Oh, so yeah. Back. I'm happy to answer the questions, Eknelis. What is the main story's goal for the player characters? Generally, the player characters, you generally end up playing the side of the what are referred to as the dragons. The plucky underdog heroes who are trying to basically make the world less terrible, and hopefully survive. Basically, you're the heroes in a Hong Kong action movie, which means you're kind of screwed. Winning the big fight is hard, but you try to win the small fights to make things better on a local scale. And if you can stop if you get powerful, if you can stop the big factions from doing something really awful.
It's basically Big Trouble in Little China.
Yep.
Sometimes all you can do is kill Lo Pan and get your girl back, and that's enough.
I mean, Big Trouble in Little China is basically a feng shui adventure.
Absolutely.
A
powerful
Lotus sorcerer has shown up and is trying to basically, make themselves no longer undead and, be able to take over part of the world by offering up completing the ritual to satiate the god of death.
It also shows how an adventure campaign can just go utterly nuts. Like Big Trouble in Little China started out as like a thing about human trafficking, and then it turns into this wizard war underneath the streets of
Yes.
Little China.
which
You
is
start out
entirely
fighting triads and organized crime, and then you end up having a fist fight with gods.
By the way, this is entirely in genre for feng shui.
Yes.
The wizard battle is it's only great because of that little finger waggle that James Hong does.
Yes. It is terrible, but it is great at the same time. That's like Big Trouble in Little China is objectively not actually a good movie. But it is so much fun, I don't fucking care. It's the same
It's a great, terrible movie.
Yes. It is one of my two favorite bad movies.
Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China was made with such love and care.
Oh yeah.
Even when it's bad, it's still really entertaining.
Oh yeah. It is literally one of my there are two bad movies that are objectively bad that I absolutely adore. It's that and The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
Yep.
Which is objectively terrible. It is worse than Big Trouble in Little China by a large margin. But it is also gloriously just absurd. You probably could, in theory, you could possibly become one of the big wigs, I guess. I mean, yeah, technically, if you were to find a way to win big, yeah. It's not easy,
yeah.
but...
Like, why would you want to, though? In that genre, if you become one of the big wigs, that means you basically invariably become the villain. There are no.
I'm currently in the campaign I'm playing, trying to find a way not to do that. Our party is desperately trying to save the world right now in the game I'm playing in. Well, trying to save 2050, trying to save the future. We're trying to recreate it.
Except not terrible.
Well, yeah, A, not terrible, and B, not with us actually in charge, because that's a terrible idea. Putting Rusty Chow in charge of the world is a terrible idea, and he's fully aware of it. He's just an auto mechanic from Kowloon who knows a bit of kung fu. He should not be running anything outside of his his auto shop. He's good at that. So I'm currently I've been putting together a coalition of people from various groups who are not completely awful to basically be a ruling council for the future. So they all have input to make the place not suck. It's been hard going. They don't like me very much for it. I have some of the Jammers and some of the Ascended sitting down at the table together. Well, not just I, the group as a whole. And the last remaining dragons. We're trying to resurrect some of the dead dragons. But at any rate, back to actually what we're doing.
Yes.
I mean, this is not entirely off genre topic technically.
I will say that, like, talking about like the way the Netherworld and all that other business goes gives me some ideas about how to pilot Jexial.
Oh yeah,
that kind of non-linear progression of events that hold and work, but not for any rational reason, or at least immediately rational reason.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I can see that. I definitely can see that, actually. All right. Anybody got anything else? Ideas? Suggestions?
I think the only thing we haven't really talked about are the various good guys, and that's not really a topic we need to approach right now.
I mean, yeah, there are definitely non-evil... There are non-bad guys out there.
I do find
besides us.
Yes, besides you guys, yes.
I do find our situation of okay, there's the Dreadlords and they're an obvious problem, but then there's also the various human groups that complicate matters. I think is the best way of phrasing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the the Knightly Order of Monster Hunters, whatever they were called.
So the
Silver
Order of the Silver
Star.
Star.
Yeah.
They're not evil.
They're incompetent.
They're not even incompetent, really.
They're
They just ran up
jerks.
against us.
The ones you've met are jerks, largely. They're a big order. They're not all terrible. And the thing is, their main job is to fight like really big, dangerous, awful threats, like dragons and giants and traditional
Dreadlords.
more actually traditional fairy tale threats, basically.
Mm.
So you run into the ones who are like, I have trained to fight giants and demons, and that's a lich and his minions. That's like not what I'm trained to fight. Fuck. But yeah, some of them have definitely been jerks.
I'm less concerned with them, honestly, and more concerned with the notion of, okay, so about this empire up there and this human city that we had dinner with recently.
Yeah.
Like, that's where my head is
I figured,
going.
yeah. That is definitely lower. Yes, that is a lower scale conflict that is important, actually. And I haven't fully decided where that's going just yet because, things.
Yeah. Well, we've managed to get like major concessions from them, at least in the short term. Like they've let us annex a bunch of villages.
It is entirely possible you might be able to enter into some sort of relatively stable relationship with them.
Mm.
Their king is, the only reason he's, that you have to believe he is terrible is that he is a sole monarch.
And he was taxing the villages that we annexed into the ground.
Yes, but that is largely due to the fact that that's how things worked then.
That's true.
Pretty much.
Mange is just like ACAB. All kings are bastards.
I mean, yeah.
We did bring up, how there are some dreadlords that seem to have potential connections to the PCs, and we've established some of those pretty well. Obviously, we came into this knowing that Eric and I were basically set with that. We've thrown around a couple of ideas involving Steno. Ash, what do you think about for Iggy?
I definitely think Iggy, like the whole incident that not only killed him but came him back, should definitely have been something that was as a result of the Jansis or Tauldren. Mostly because I'm playing Xurus. I can't do both of them.
Right, fair enough, right. Well, I mean, if he did just kind of like fall over and get back up, if that fits in with the idea of Tauldren's dominion.
I could imagine that. I could imagine like he died and he got back up and they tried to conscript him and there's just wacky hijinks ensued and he just bolted out of the army. So he's technically AWOL from Tauldren's army.
You fresh skeleton, fall in line. Clunk.
Nope. Bye. Wait, what? That's not how that works. Wait, that skeleton. That skeleton has. Ah, crap. Sentient skeleton.
You just see him running through the trenches, naked, just
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
bones.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, I imagine that was something. His escape was something like he may not have a very good opinion of Tauldren over that because he didn't have any sort of say in what happened to him.
No, that you shouldn't have a good opinion of Tauldren.
And that's probably how he got into with Bone. He probably bummed around with the various undead gangs until he got involved with them, and then he got in with Kadrix.
Yeah, sure. I like it.
that would explain why he's kind of worried about his family. Maybe his family's village is somewhere close by Tauldren's operating area.
Yeah, probably.
So there's that like looming danger for him that maybe, they won't pay their tithes or something like that, and then they'll wind up among his undead hordes, but they won't be as lucky as him to retain their free will.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, his wife is a bona fide badass. I actually have ideas of what she would be if I ever had to play her. In fact, I found a perfect image to describe what this would be.
Okay.
Move on.
Yes. Mulan. Yes.
Yes, he's definitely married to Yun Kui in some form.
Okay.
To justify if that ever happens to be, if I ever have a reason to play her as a character.
Also kind of fits a little bit of the Looney Tunes kind of stuff that Iggy gets up to anyway. So
Yes. It's like how are you so good at dodging everything? Have you met my wife?
The number of pots and pans that I've seen.
It's like, why are you so good at pots and pans? Have you met my wife?
Zenith, why do I have flashbacks of Jet Empire, the cow scene? Yes, dear. No, dear. Whack. Alright, cool. They're super effective, yes. But yeah, alright, so yeah, that ties in nicely. Alright. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Alright, cool. So yeah, like, I do think, like, as an aside, a lot of the Dreadlord sort of plots are things that are going to simmer in the background until they become, like, an important plot point for a while, and then back to the background. And I don't know, maybe not. I don't know where the game's going to go. I don't have an overarching plot for this campaign for what I like to call obvious reasons. This isn't one where I really can have an overarching plot. I mean, I could. I mean, there will definitely be, like,
the Feng Shui game. We're gonna fuck shit up by accident, even more so than D&D.
Yes. But yeah, like, as a general rule of thumb, like, basically, the basic plot structure of a Feng Shui game is someone whom the party doesn't like, someone who is some bad guy who the party wants to stop is up to something that will make things bad for the people the party cares about. Ergo, the party will do something bad to people the party don't like having bad things happen to. Whether it's because they care about them or just a general sense of, well, that's terrible, we should stop that. Or, that person should not get more powerful, no, dear Lord, no. Like, no, Murnuria probably shouldn't become a deity. That's probably a bad thing.
That's probably a terrible thing for everyone involved. The only people with an interest in letting it happen are Jexiel, so you can just watch the process because that's fascinating, or Morbask because that will make it easier for him to find and eat a god. He knows there's one right there,
and that'll totally work.
The terrifying thing is, it probably would.
It might. It depends. It'd be interesting. It would definitely be interesting, but yeah. Everything started because the princess arrived and the characters' lives ever returned to, quote, normal. Yeah. There are definitely chickens that will have to come home to roost revolving around Princess Cynthia.
As I brought up last game, actually maybe it was 2 games ago, like, there's the whole thing where Two-Face is
Yes.
Yeah. Poor Gemini.
This was supposed to be like a 1-week job.
We're gonna get back there, and Gemini's gonna have like taken over the entire kingdom as Dreadlord Cynthia.
Dreadlords.
I mean,
It just has an. It just like has
the
a
name
silly
is
ring to it.
the name's great. I will say Cynthia is loose is not is based on a character from a series of books I rather enjoy. If you have not read them, I highly recommend the Dealing with Dragons series by Patricia Reid. They're very good, and Princess Cimarini is great. Cynthia is very heavily based on Cimarini. Yeah. Well, yes. Zurus Kittering's thing about raising a god from the dead. That is a long-term thing that will not happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
And no one is aware of it. I'm saying this right now. The only person who knows about it is this is what Zurus. This is Zurus' plan. No, like this is one of those things that it is something that Jansen would think is I guess that's theoretically possible, but it's a terrible idea, and I would never do that. That's asking for trouble that you don't want. Of course, a mortal necromancer is going to try it. Of course, why? Only a mortal would think of this. Because literally, like someone with enough perspective as a lich would I'm a power hungry lich, and even I know that's a terrible idea.
That's not going to work well in the short term, much less the long term. You never raise anything bigger than your head. Gods, by definition, are bigger than your head.
I actually, honestly, this is. I don't know if Nick this fits in with sort of the image of what you're going to be going with, but I can totally see Jansen's in the past having been just power hungry enough to think something along those lines is a terrible idea, but after having been thoroughly beaten and temporarily destroyed, looking back at it, I was like, that was a terrible idea. I should learn from this shit.
Oh, how crazy I was! But then we all were when we were 120.
Oh, that actually that could be a thing if maybe the Jansens actually did try this, and the thought that Zurus could, if Jansen ever found out, just the thought that Zurus could actually pull it off would drive him crazy.
It's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose for him probably because if it works, it's terrible because Zurus did it, and if it doesn't work, then it could cause all sorts of shit to go bad in the process. So. Now I'm ruminating on a potential idea that I have.
Excellent.
For Jansen's.
Let me know when you got it, or if you need to bounce ideas off me at some point.
Yeah, we'll do.
I think the best thing that's come out of this so far too is I'm starting to see how we can play each of these Dreadlords against each other in fun and interesting ways. So it might not just be a Zervis story. It might be a Zervis and Tauldren story, or a Morbask and Jinzile story.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Fintius in the chat. Zurus. Okay, I have my plan ready. Reanimate a dead god, then control it. Maybe I should practice controlling someone more powerful than me before trying it with a god. Nah. Be fine.
What's the worst that could happen?
You have an undead monstrosity of a god that that's very upset with you.
Yeah,
Oh
besides,
no, I've started the end of days
Whatever, not a big deal.
again. Christ, there's an idea. Stenos survived whatever version of Judgment Day her religion had.
Oh yeah.
Seno has seen some shit. I don't quite know if, there was, an apocalyptics branch of, her religion.
John the Who?
Like, she's a millennial in that she's over 1,000 years old. She's not a millennial in that she thinks that the end of life is coming at the end of a millennium. There's no 1,000-year kingdom with her.
Uh,
All right. I think we may have hit the end point for today at least.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop the recording here. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. I hope you guys found this interesting and seeing some world building going on in the back, what behind the scenes world building shit. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with doing this. I think it'll be definitely interesting. Hopefully hopefully Gav and Skitch have some feedback that they'll want to throw us at some point. Even if they don't want to get in on the handling of Dreadlord, that's again, I totally understand not wanting to do that. Like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also understand not having the wanting to just play. Like I get that. Believe me, I get that. Anywho, either way, that's going to do it for today for the recording. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys when the actual next session happens. I don't know when that'll be, but yeah. Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye, buddy.
bye.
everyone.
Bye.